There was a kid who spent hours staring at a screen alone in his room. No camera, no money, no mentors. Just one wild dream: to become the biggest YouTuber in the world. Jimmy Donaldson, now known as MrBeast, didn't start with magic. He started with obsession. He watched every video, studied every trend, filmed, failed, repeated, and now he's the face of YouTube's biggest empire, giving away millions, changing lives, and proving that the real superpower is generosity. But the truth behind his rise? You won't find that in his thumbnails. Jimmy Donaldson's childhood was anything but glamorous. He was born in a small town in North Carolina, where dreaming big wasn't illegal, but chasing those dreams, it felt impossible. Jimmy was a quiet, awkward, and anxious kid. He didn't talk much in school. He didn't have many friends. But inside him burned something fierce, a hunger that no textbook could feed. While other kids played outside, Jimmy sat glued to YouTube. He watched every video like a scientist studying a rare experiment, analyzing thumbnails, pacing, retention. He didn't see fame. He saw freedom. He knew it. One day I'll be on that screen, not watching, but creating. But the beginning was tough. He had no good camera, no mic, no editing skills, just a borrowed laptop and a whispering voice. His first 100 videos, almost no one watched. He would refresh the view count again and again, hoping for a miracle. Maybe I hit 10 views? Still, he didn't stop. He had made a promise to himself: if I focus on one thing every single day, I will become unstoppable. Jimmy became a student of the game. Every morning, watch, learn, record, repeat. He didn't complain, he didn't compare, he just created. This wasn't a story of overnight success. This was a boy giving up thousands of hours just to understand that the YouTube algorithm was nothing compared to a relentless human heart. Jimmy wasn't just watching YouTube anymore, he was breathing it. He had decided he didn't just want to make videos. He wanted to make the greatest videos on the planet. This wasn't a hobby anymore, it was obsession. His friends didn't understand why someone would spend 12 hours a day studying thumbnails, editing transitions, or testing titles. But Jimmy didn't care. He was failing again and again, but with each failure he was getting sharper. He kept a notebook where he logged every video's performance, click-through rate, watch time, engagement drop-offs. He studied why people clicked and why they didn't. Jimmy's brain was now wired in one direction: attention, retention, repeat. Then came the turning point, a bizarre experiment, counting to 100,000. No story, no glam, just Jimmy, counting, for hours, no cuts, no tricks. And people watched. Why? Because he did what no one else dared to try. That video wasn't just viral, it was a signal. The mindset that would one day define MrBeast was born. I'll do what nobody is doing, I'll go further. And when I'm exhausted, I'll go again. This chapter introduced his first true partner in crime, Chris Tyson. Together they brainstormed, filmed, tested, and failed forward. The camera became a weapon, and Jimmy's mind became a battlefield. He had understood one law of the internet: attention is currency, and he was going to master it. He would test a thumbnail 50 times, change a title for a single word, and cut the first 30 seconds of his videos like a surgeon. Nobody had seen this kind of intensity before. Slowly, views started coming in. Not millions, but enough. Jimmy knew this was just the beginning. Jimmy was no longer chasing virality, he was chasing meaning. He asked himself, what if I could actually change someone's life on camera? Would people watch that? That question gave birth to the MrBeast giving era. One of his first viral hits was when he gave $10,000 to a homeless man. No tricks, no stunts, just pure human kindness. And it exploded. People cried, people shared, and Jimmy found something he never expected: purpose. His videos were no longer just content, they were connections. He started using his own money to bring light into people's lives. A mother got a new car, a student had their debt paid off, an elderly man got a home. What thrilled Jimmy now wasn't the view count. It was the spark in people's eyes when he helped them, but it wasn't easy. Jimmy was spending thousands, sometimes more than he had. He hunted down sponsors, negotiated brand deals, and funneled every dollar back into his videos. His workspace was a storm. Whiteboards filled with wild ideas, chaotic shoots, massive logistics. Still, one thing remained constant: his method. Same notebook, same analytics, same obsessive tracking of what worked and why. But now the stakes were higher, because he wasn't just chasing clicks, he was chasing hope. He made a rule: every video must be bigger and better than the last. And that mindset? That's what made MrBeast not just a YouTuber, but an architect of the platform's future. Jimmy's channel had now exploded. Millions of views, millions of subscribers, but still that he wasn't satisfied. He didn't want to just make money off YouTube. He wanted to shake the world. So he built a team: Chris, Chandler, Carl, Nolan. None of them were professionals, but all of them believed in his mission. Jimmy made one rule clear: every video must be either deeply emotional or absolutely insane. And from that mindset came viral hits like Last to Leave the Circle, Survived 24 Hours in Ice, and the game changer, I Gave Away a Private Island. But MrBeast wasn't just about fun anymore. He launched Beast Philanthropy, building food banks, digging wells, and delivering resources directly to people in need. YouTube was no longer just a platform for Jimmy. It had become a movement. He was spending millions every month, paying staff, upgrading production to Hollywood levels. Yet he lived in a small apartment, wore basic clothes, ate simple food. Because for Jimmy, the real thrill wasn't fame, it was changing lives. He wasn't trying to beat competitors anymore, he was trying to inspire them. Jimmy once said, YouTubers need to stop thinking they're just entertainers. We can change the world if we dare. Jimmy's life had gone viral, not just on screen but off screen too. Millions of fans, endless interviews, brand deals, appearances. MrBeast wasn't just a YouTube channel anymore, it was a full-blown industry. But success brought with it a strange kind of silence, one that views and money couldn't fix. Jimmy once admitted, I don't exist outside my videos. Every day the same loop. What's the next video? How much will it cost? Will it get enough views? And if it doesn't, am I a failure? He was living in a 24/7 pressure cooker. No rest, no vacations, no off switch. And the scariest part? People didn't see Jimmy anymore. They only saw MrBeast, the guy who gives away islands and cures blindness. The boy who used to make videos in his room now had to be perfect everywhere he went. Slowly, Jimmy began spiraling into anxiety and burnout. But instead of hiding it, he did something rare. He started talking about it. He spoke openly about mental health, loneliness, and how success doesn't always feel like winning. And that made him more human than ever before. Jimmy realized something vital. MrBeast is a brand, but Jimmy Donaldson is a beating heart. And that heart, the human behind the hero, was what people were finally starting to love the most. If this story has moved you, if you've ever felt pressure, burnout, or invisible behind your own success, then this journey is not just about MrBeast. It's about you too. Subscribe to Inspiro, where we don't just tell stories of legends, we uncover the human behind the spotlight. Because behind every great name is a silent soul waiting to be heard. Jimmy was no longer thinking locally. He had one big idea swirling in his head. What if my videos could reach the world in their own language? That's when the global phase began. MrBeast in Espanol, MrBeast Brazil, MrBeast Hindi, and more. Jimmy didn't just slap on subtitles. He hired professional dubbing artists so that people across the globe could hear his videos in their native voices. His thought was simple: If Hollywood can dub movies worldwide, why can't YouTubers? This wasn't localization. It was a global content revolution, and it worked. From India to Brazil, Mexico to the Middle East, MrBeast became a household name. But Jimmy wasn't just chasing global reach. He was chasing real-world change. He built over 100 schools, helped dig 1,000+ wells, provided clean water and education to kids across developing nations. Still, he wasn't done. He expanded beyond YouTube, launched Feastables, a chocolate brand, created MrBeast Burger, a fast food chain, and his rule stayed the same. Whatever I do must have so much value. People feel drawn to it naturally. Even as a CEO, Jimmy didn't sit in a corner office. He still brainstormed thumbnails, wrote scripts, edited footage with his team, hands-on, grounded, focused. Jimmy had proven something rare. You can be wildly creative and still build a corporate empire. You can make money and still make the world better. Jimmy Donaldson wasn't just MrBeast anymore. He was the biggest YouTuber on the planet. Billions of views, tens of millions of fans, brand deals across continents. But when he returned each night to his small apartment, there wasn't applause waiting. There was silence. He was changing lives every single day, but had no one to truly share his own. The guy who taught the world that giving is power was now quietly falling apart inside. Jimmy's health began to crack. Sleepless nights, mounting pressure, emotional fatigue. He pushed every video to perfection, but perfection was slowly breaking him. His team often begged, "Take a break, man." He'd laugh and say, "If I stop, everything stops." Responsibility had replaced passion, and he was carrying it alone. He was surrounded by people, yet utterly alone on the inside. Then came a raw public moment. In an interview, Jimmy confessed, "Fame has made it so I can be in a room full of people and still not feel truly connected." That single sentence shook the internet. MrBeast, the most admired man on YouTube, was human. He could break too, and that vulnerability became his superpower. People didn't just admire him now, they related to him. Jimmy began to heal. He took therapy, changed his routine, reconnected with old friends, not for content but for conversation. He learned something priceless. Before you save the world, you need to save yourself. Jimmy now knew that views or fame alone wouldn't keep him going. He needed purpose, something bigger than the algorithm, something that made him wake up each morning and feel alive. That's when MrBeast 2.0 was born. Not a YouTuber chasing numbers, but a man building a mission with every upload. He defined his new philosophy in one line: "If my video doesn't make someone's life better, then why does it exist?" His content grew bolder, powering an entire village, paying for over 1,000 cataract surgeries, funding a clean water initiative across countries. And many of these he did without even filming, quietly, humbly. Jimmy refined his empire. Feastables, Beast Burger, Beast Philanthropy. Not just brands, but ecosystems designed to spread impact far beyond a screen. He began teaching new creators how to beat the algorithm, how to tell a story in a thumbnail, how to grow without losing yourself. Calling Jimmy a YouTuber no longer made sense. He had become a movement. Instead of competing, he now uplifted the entire creator community. He showed the world that one man can shift infrastructure, fix broken education systems, and teach billion-dollar corporations what true ethics mean. Jimmy told himself, "If my final video isn't my most impactful, then my life wasn't finished." In one interview, Jimmy said something that sent chills across the internet. "Before I die, I want to leave behind the greatest video ever made." It wasn't a quote for shock. It was a mission, the kind of mission you live and die for. He's already told his closest friends, there is one final video meant to be uploaded only after his death. That video will be MrBeast's final message to the world. What's in it? No one knows. Maybe an orphanage that spans nations? Maybe a donation big enough to rewrite history, or maybe the truth he never told anyone. Jimmy works for that video every single day. He sees his life as a storyline, every video a chapter, and his final one, the closing answer. But behind this dream is a massive sacrifice. Jimmy never married. He stayed away from serious relationships. He hasn't taken vacations in years. His days remain locked in that same studio, living by the same relentless schedule because he believes, "I wasn't born for views. I was born to leave something behind." His entire life has become a countdown, every upload, every edit, bringing him closer to that final masterpiece. Jimmy knows he's not immortal, but his dream is that his story and his message will be. Jimmy Donaldson, known to the world as MrBeast, who is no longer just a YouTuber. He's a symbol, a spirit, a resonance that will echo for generations. He proved that one person, one laptop, and one dream can change the entire world. He didn't just join an industry, he built one, where purpose meant more than passion, where giving wasn't a stunt, it was a system. Jimmy's life is a message. Your uniqueness is your superpower. And if you dare to follow your own path, your name will never fade. He didn't just change views, he changed lives. He didn't just build fame, he built faith. His greatest achievement? People laughed at MrBeast's videos, but they learned to live through Jimmy's journey. Today, when a new creator picks up a camera, a kid buys a chocolate bar, or a brand talks about ethics, somewhere, somehow, MrBeast's legacy lingers. He redefined what legacy means. He didn't teach us how to become famous, he taught us what to do with that fame. One day he'll be gone, as we all will. But his final video won't be his last breath, it'll be the beginning of something eternal. If this story moved your heart, if it reminded you that greatness starts from humble pixels and sleepless nights, then you're meant to carry that fire forward. Subscribe to Inspiro, where real stories come to life. Not to entertain, sir, but to awaken. Because in every heart lies a MrBeast waiting to be born.